Hey, how's it going, guys? So I think it's best to start off this video by saying that I do not personally believe this list to be completely true, so take it with a grain of salt as usual. But a lot of you guys are asking for my opinion on this, my thoughts on it, so and I am personally curious on what, the Season 4 roster is going to look like for Street Fighter V going forward, so I think this is a good time to start talking about it. First, let me get you guys caught up on the latest rumors that are going around. The reason that this is a hot topic right now, showing up on a lot of sites and forums and such, is because a leaker by the name of Vergaben, or Vergaben, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, recently posted another list of characters coming to Season 4 for Street Fighter V. The characters are, drumroll, Sea Viper, Necro, Q, Oral, Sodom, Makoto, plus 2 brand new characters. One of them is supposedly Phantom. So 8 characters total for this season. I know, hear me out, guys, first. So let's rewind a second, guys, and discuss the credibility of this list first. I think that's really important. Now, I have seen a very similar list like this mentioned publicly as far back as like the beginning of Season 2. So this is like last year, and even by the same leaker himself, who mentioned some of these characters were supposed to be coming to Season 3, which was obviously wrong. I mean, there was even Roxy in that list. Now, in his defense, he has definitely got some stuff right outside of Street Fighter, such as Ridley and a bunch of other characters being playable in the new Smash for the Nintendo Switch months before it was announced at E3, for example, and other things too. So there is some stuff he gets right and wrong. Obviously, there's a lot of sources. Now, like I said, many characters on this list have been posted a bunch of times over a year ago, so it is possible that some of this is true, especially since Flowtron, who is definitely the most reliable leaker when it comes to the announcement of future Street Fighter V characters, said that Oral, Sea Viper, Necro, and Q will not make it in Season 3. He said they won't make it in Season 3. So I might be reading too much in between the lines here, but this implies that these characters do in fact exist or are being worked on, and that definitely makes this list much more believable if that's the case, since he didn't deny that they were actually in the game, they just weren't coming in Season 3. Alright, enough of that, now let's look at this list as a whole. So the first thing we notice is that there is a ton of Street Fighter 3 characters, like too many Street Fighter 3 characters, and more importantly, no Street Fighter 2 characters to be seen. We're still missing E Honda and Fei Long, for example. Where are the Rekka characters? Or even T-Hawk or DJ if you're nasty. There's 4 characters from Street Fighter 3 on this list, 1 from Street Fighter 4 and 1 from Alpha, and then there's the 2 brand new. Now looking back, we have had a weird Season 2 though, with all brand new characters in the roster besides Akuma, so Capcom has done weird things like this before. One theory is that we still have not even seen the next big cinematic story being added to the game yet because Capcom was busy with arcade mode. And since the timeline is getting closer and closer to Street Fighter 3, it's very possible that we're going to run into a lot of these characters pretty soon. Another theory is that maybe a bunch of these characters were all being worked on at once by Capcom, and it's just how it ended up. The Street Fighter 3 characters were the ones that still needed to be finished, but I doubt that. I should also point out that only Street Fighter 3 characters in the game right now are Alex and Urien, which were released in Season 1, so we still don't have that much Street Fighter 3 characters in the first place. Alright, let's talk about these characters individually now, starting with Sea Viper. Let's start with Sea Viper. The most popular Street Fighter 4 character was Juri, by far. We already have her in the game, of course. She was also 3rd on the character popularity poll, so that was massive. But if you look at next in line, Sea Viper got 22nd place, so she's still pretty damn popular. There isn't much other choice, honestly, as far as exclusive Street Fighter characters go. Capcom doesn't like dive kicks, apparently, so that brings Rufus out of there. El Fuerte, Hakan, Abel, they're just not as popular as a character like Sea Viper. The only other character that I can think of that would be a good choice would be Gouken, because Gouken is pretty popular actually. But Sea Viper definitely fits in Street Fighter V, I feel. I don't think Evil Ryu or Oni count. And next up we have Sodom. This one seems like a no-brainer, honestly. I think anyone could have guessed this on a list, because if you've been keeping up with the news that we've learned so far, it came down between Birdie or Sodom to be a launch character for Street Fighter V when it first came out. So that means that there is most likely unused assets for Sodom lying around there in the office, and Capcom would already have a good head start finishing up the character. I would imagine Sodom also being changed a lot like Birdie was as well, so don't expect him to play the same. Now let's talk about Oro. Out of all the Street Fighter 3 characters left, I feel like he should be the #1 priority that they bring back into Street Fighter 5. He would fit in Street Fighter 5 perfectly, especially with like the Tengu Stones for V-Trigger, for example. There's a lot of characters in Street Fighter 3 that borrow moves from older characters, but Oro is pretty original, I think, so I would be happy with him coming to the game. And also, as a character himself, he's also very interesting, you know, with one arm tied behind his back kind of thing, and he's also a very powerful character in the lore, so I would like to see his story leading up to Street Fighter 3 and what he was doing. Okay, as for Q now, this kind of makes me doubt the list, honestly, if it's true, because, you know, we've had hints of Q with G's story costume. If you guys remember back, G's story costume, I mean, looks so similar to Q that there has to be some kind of relation. It's not a coincidence. The trend with these new characters is that they're related with their previous characters in the story. Like there's a lot of apprentice characters, for example, when it comes to brand new characters in Street Fighter V. Q is very popular though. He's 4th place on the popularity poll, but I think it's due to his mysterious background. I don't think it really has to do with how the character plays, so hopefully this isn't ruined and Capcom reveals too much about his story if it is true that Q is coming. Hopefully they keep him as this mysterious character. Next up we have Necro. I mean, we got to see a preview of him on the Halloween stage with his girlfriend FV. I think it would be really cool if he had like a similar V-trigger like Armika with Nadeshiko, where FV would assist him somehow. She would hop on the screen and do something. I think it would be really cool with how Necro has long limbs like Dalsum as well. A lot of people like to say, you know, he's like Dalsum and Blanca the Electricity, but he's not really like that. And if they had something where he uses his girlfriend as a V-trigger, I think that would spice things up and make him more original in the game. Okay, and the last Street Fighter 3 character is Makoto. So she would be the only returning Street Fighter 3 character so far in Street Fighter 5, and she is very popular at #2 on the popularity poll. Sakura is #1. She would fit just fine in Street Fighter 5, honestly. I don't think they really need to change much with her. Dashing seems to be all the rage online, so she would fit just perfectly, man. She'd be awesome. Makoto is also a good robbery character too, and that seems to be the trend as well, so I'm sure she will be really popular and she'll have a lot of time to catch up with all those fresh new costumes. And finally we have 2 brand new characters coming as well, if this list is true. This seems to be a trend with every season now. We don't have any information except for hints of Phantom, which is Fang's new apprentice who was introduced through a short story that I did a video on after the fall of Shadowloo, that you guys definitely should check out if you don't know who Phantom is. She sounds really interesting. We still also have more Neo Shadowloo characters from Ed's crew, such as that, you know, that crazy gorilla looking character, and that dude with the straw hat, and I think he's got little daggers in his hands or something. So that'd be interesting as well. And before that character doesn't have motion special moves. Alright, before we close up this video, you guys are probably wondering why there is 8 characters this season instead of the usual 6. Well, there's been a rumor floating around once again since Season 2 that Capcom is planning to release some of these characters for free. And when I say for free, I mean without fight money, they're just given to you. It was first said to be 4 free characters, but now it looks like it's down to 2 for whatever reason. So 6 for this season, for the season pass holders, and then 2 will be given for free on top of that, making 8. If this is true, I'm not sure which of these characters will be the free ones, but if I would narrow it down, it would probably be the 2 Street Fighter 3 characters, since there seems to be so many on this list. It would make the most sense. I doubt it would be the brand new characters too. Street Fighter 3 sounds about right. Well, either way, whether this list is complete baloney or completely true, Capcom will most likely just show off all the future characters anyways when Season 4 gets announced, probably at Capcom Cup, so we won't be in suspense for too long next year anyways, like they did with Season 3. So with arcade mode out of the way now, I hope Capcom gets a little bit more bold when they add stuff to the next season and they start really focusing on more mechanics to freshen the game up with the characters that are already in the game. Since the roster for this is starting to get really big, we're starting to get a lot of characters now, especially if they are going to add 8 next season. So guys, let me know what you think about this list. Are you guys happy if this list is true? Or you guys this is just fake news and there's just no way this is gonna happen? And what do you guys think about the free new characters? That'd be interesting too. So as usual guys, leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Of course, like the video, it really helps out. And I'll keep you guys posted next time. So till then guys, take care.